Hello there folks, it's Piano Man Steve Lungrin, founder of LearningMusicIsFun.com. I appreciate you tuning in. This is my tutorial for Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett. Something I've had an awful lot of requests for, so finally getting around to it. This is going to be a two-parter. In this first part, what I'm going to show you is the basic rhythm pattern and the chord structure that we're going to use all the way through. And then in the second part, we're going to learn the signature licks and how to integrate them into that rhythm pattern. So this first one, basically what we're going to learn to do is this. That sort of thing, which actually it's a little more complicated than that, but kind of work on that. The second part is when we'll get into all of those things. So we'll learn that in part two and stick them together and do a wrap up. But before you get into the signature licks, you got to have something that will carry you all the way through the song. And so we enter the chords in the rhythm pattern. This is what we're going to want to do. We're in the key of D. Here's your middle C. I want you to find a D chord around that with your thumb on A, index finger on D, and your fourth finger on an F sharp. And down here, actually, you're not really going to be playing octaves. You're mostly going to be two Ds below this one with your thumb. And your left hand's going to be going between D and A. So D, D, A, D, D, A, D, A, D. Bum, 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 bum. Pretty much all the way through, depending on what chord you're on. Now in your right hand, what you're going to be doing is going like this. You're going to play that A with your thumb, and then you're going to come up and play D and F sharp like this, and back to the thumb. Okay, here's the two together. Let me play that even a little slower. Okay, that's the first part of this. But the way it's going to look is we have a little extra thing to add to the right hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. So we go through this 1. That's an E minor chord, which we're adding for a little suspension. We get a full, we suspend the 5 up to a 6, we suspend the 1 up to a 2, and we suspend the 4 or the 3 up to a 4. So we get this kind of thing. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. B, E, and G. Play that even a little bit slower. Then it goes to an A7 chord, and you're going to be going A, E, E, A, E in the left hand. And up here you're going to play same technique, but now we're changing to a different chord. It's going to be A, then C sharp, E, and G. And then it's a G chord, B, D, and G, that you do the suspension lick on. So it looks like this. Back to the D. Okay, so let me just play through that first. The first little chord progression where we go from D to A7 and back to D. So we start out like this, and it's like living on sponge cake, watching the sun bake. Okay, the next little line, we're heading into, Wasted Away in Margaritaville, and we go like so. We've gone back to the D chord. Bum, 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 bum. Now we make that a 7, so we play A and then play F sharp and C rather than F sharp and D. And then we play E in the bass, and then we play E and G up here and toggle down to the B with our thumb. Okay, and then up to F sharp, and we play F sharp and A, toggle to the C. So we went like so. Oops. Sorry, I didn't play that very clean. Let me do that again. Take 2. We all make mistakes, right? Okay, so let me just get from where we started to this point so you can see how that all fits together. This is right on the beginning of the verse where he says, living on sponge cake, because the intro of the song is more of a signature line thing, so we'll cover that in part 2. This is right where he says, living on sponge cake, looks like so. Okay, and then of course we'll run through that a couple more times in a minute. So let's carry on to the chorus, Wasted Away in Margaritaville, okay? Now we're onto a G chord, and in the bass you're just going G, G, D, D, but it's G, A, D. Now up here, you're playing the G chord like so. We take a nice big octave chord. Okay? G, B, D, and G, like so. We do the same technique we've been playing. You play your thumb, and then you play the rest of the chord and come back to your thumb, so it's okay, ba-ba-bum, ba-bum, up to an A7. So now we're playing A, C sharp, E, and G. Now we're back to a D chord. Okay, and we get to do the same thing that we did leading into the chorus, where we go ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. Then right back to the G. Back to the A7. And then back to D once again and do the thing one more time. And one more time back to G. A7. And then we just play a D chord and we hold it. So A, D, and F sharp. 1, 2. And then we play C sharp in the bass and A and E up here in the right hand. So it's an A chord over a C sharp bass. We went. And then we play a G chord, G, B, D, over a G bass. For right now, I'm just going to have you play an A7. Because this will be something we learn a signature line with, because you'll have to come up and do your. So we'll work on that in part 2. So for right now, just go to an A7. Then back to a D chord. Then throw your little suspension in there. Bob. And then you'll be on to a new verse. So let me play the verse and the chorus a few times from beginning to end slow so you can see all this stuff. I know it's difficult to get context when we're breaking it down, but it's difficult to figure out what I'm playing if we don't break it down first. So now you get to see it all in context now that we've kind of worked on each individual component. So just watch how this works. And again, this is not the intro. The intro starts with the. So we will work on that on the part 2, and we'll work on integrating that with your rhythm pattern. Okay, so this is the verse and chorus. Living on sponge cake. do that another time. I'm going to play it even slower this time to make sure that you really, really see it all. It's like so, living on sponge cake. To another verse. When you get that up to speed, it looks like so. Okay, then you just basically do that several times in a row. So even though you don't have the signature licks in, this is enough to get started. You could actually do the song. You can go, living on sponge cake. You know, so let me play it right. Living on sponge cake, watching the sun bathe. All those tourists covered with oil. Okay, so you can actually get started with this when part 2 comes out, which by the time most of you see this, it'll already be out, but it could be as late as next week. We'll see. If I have time this week, I'll get to it and just have it out pretty quick. But I'll show you how to actually take the signature licks, the little and integrate it in there so that you can have all of that in there, and that'll kind of round out the tune. So in part 2, we will look at the signature licks, show you how to integrate it, and then do a complete run through of the song with everything together so you can see how it fits together. Okay, I'm going to get out of here for now. Remember, if you're not having fun when you're making music, you're doing it wrong, and I'll see you on the next one. And please come check out learningmusicisfun.com. We've got a nice little free course there for you to try out and see if you like the lessons, because we teach people not just song tutorials, but actually how you can listen to a song and incorporate rhythm patterns, chords, and improv techniques so you can start playing the music that you want to play and you don't have to wait for someone to write it out or film a specific tutorial. So come check it out. I hope that I'll see you there. Take it easy. This is Piano Man Steve Lungrin signing out of here.